So the best revelation over the last year of radio we've been doing. Here are the nominees.
And now the Suey nominees for Best Revelation. Lane Kiffin on Nick Saban's no hats rule.
Friday night meetings, which are usually pretty casual. They're at the hotel the night before the game. And I had a hat on. Well, I didn't know, like, you weren't supposed to wear a hat in a meeting. I mean, I never heard of that. So he wasn't very happy that when I walked out of the meeting, he saw that I was wearing a hat. So he didn't like that. So I didn't get to wear a hat anymore.
So how does that conversation go?
That I can't say, especially because the lady you had on before said, make sure you know this is live, so you can't say anything.
Well, all right, can you bleep it out? Just use bleeps where you would use the word.
Use bleeps.
It would be rated R.
Jim Brockmeyer reveals Brent Musburger pooped on his hotel bed.
About 15, 20 years ago, we got into it a little bit over the pronunciation of, do you remember Kent Herbeck? Remember him?
Yes.
Remember him?
First baseman for the Twins.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I speak a little bit of Czech, and the actual correct pronunciation of his name is Herbeck. Okay, and I told that to Musburger, and you know what he said to me? He said, I don't care. I don't care, Jim. I took it as a slight to the Czech people, quite frankly, and one thing led to another. I don't know how to say this. He took a dump in my hotel bed. Okay? And he did.
Why? What was your history? Why would it escalate to there?
There wasn't a small amount of alcohol involved. I think he did it on purpose. I can't be totally sure.
Jamel Hill's mom called the White House.
Even with me, obviously I've been written about a lot. My mother is very angry at a lot of the coverage. There's some particular people in the highest office she's not very pleased with either. Right. And so as a result, I have to tell her to calm down. My mother told me she actually called the White House, which I was like, what are you doing?
Your mom called
well, there you go. That's a great story. Like, that's
the White House.
How defensive. Like, stop. Leave my daughter alone.
The White House has like a general number? Like, how does that?
No, they do.
Yeah, they do have a general number. Did she leave a message? Did she leave a message?
I wanted to know nothing else because I wanted plausible deniability.
George St. Pierre reveals his encounter with a UFO.
One day I saw an unidentified flying object, and we all saw the same thing at the same time, and we don't know what it was. It was a spectrum of light, or I don't know. I don't know. From my perspective, it looked like a kind of a green triangular shape, and it was maybe the size of a football field.
Lane Johnson has a babysitter during the off season.
They cage me in the off season. I have a guy that stays with me to make sure I don't do nothing stupid.
Wait a minute.
For the organization. So,
wait a minute. Lane, you have the Des Bryant babysitter?
I do. He's my best friend.
Yeah.
So I hired him as my manager. He does a lot of my social media, all the stuff for the school.
Wait,
so, hey,
Lane, what did you do? Lane, what did you do that you need a babysitter? What happened?
I got suspended twice. That's
David Sampson was sued for ruining someone's marriage.
I apparently introduced Ozzie Guillen to somebody, and this woman then left her husband, and the husband accused me of setting up Ozzie and the woman, therefore falling in love, and therefore causing a divorce.
Yes.
So I was served papers as the Cupid of sorts to break up this marriage.
Dan has used product in his hair.
Carlos Boozer went on Highly Questionable. If you're not familiar with this, it's basically shoe polish on the head. If you're balding or you got spots there, I used to use on television a can of hair. You just, you just sprinkle like a can of hair in a spot, and it would just cover up. It's like it is. It's like gray spackle. It's just something you put in your hair, and it makes it look like it's not splotchy.
Greg Cody's dad won a Purple Heart for breaking his ankle. My dad did win a Purple Heart, but I asked him once how he won the Purple Heart, because you always think of heroism in war. My dad was a cook, an Army cook, and he won a Purple Heart for falling off a truck and breaking his ankle. So not all Purple Heart winners are like heroes who save an entire battalion from enemy gunfire. Yes, but, God bless the Purple Heart winner. That's all I'm saying. And I love you, Dad. See you soon. Bud Grant autographed someone's butt at his garage sale.
Oh, somebody had me autograph their butt one year, so that's the strangest one.
How did that go?
Quickly.
Billy Bob Thornton got held up while filming Monsters Ball.
I got robbed on the street while I was making Monsters Ball in New Orleans, or stuck up by a guy with a knife. And I didn't look at him. I had $11 in my pocket. And I said, dude, look, here's the money. It's yours. All I got's $11. And the guy recognized me then. And he said, man, you're one of my favorites. And I talked to the guy who had just held me at knife point. And this was in the daytime. It was on a Sunday. I was just walking on one of those streets where there's not much but boarded up buildings down there. And at the end of the thing, I said, do you still want the $11? And he goes, no, man, keep that. That's yours.
Bernie Williams has used psychedelic drugs.
I would venture to say or ponder the question, are chemical-induced experiences useful in music?
Wow, they are in baseball, as we've noticed from your from those teams, from the teams that you played with.
Would they make you a more effective musician if you indulge in all those, like psycho, substances?
Mind opening.
Well, the Grateful Dead, Bernie, they did the acid test where they would just jam out on acid, and they said they were much better on acid than they were off acid.
Bernie Williams is getting real close to that line. Do you want to go back away from this squeaky clean, saying I would never do such a thing? I'm Yankee legend Bernie Williams. I don't think anyone should be open-minded about psychedelic drugs.
This whole music thing has opened a whole new world for me. So
controversial, Bernie Williams.
That will be your controversial line right there.
Bernie Williams is a psychedelic drug user. Woo!
Oh God!
Tell us, drops acid. Tell us about breathless IPF.
Shrooms. Terry Bradshaw sits when he pees.
I hate to hear that noise, that peeing noise when it hits the water.
Yeah.
I don't like that, so I sit down. I have a bad back anyway.
Oh, you're sitting
really?
down. Terry, you are so revealing.
I sit. Well, it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm sleepy.
Rosie Perez admits she has a foot thing.
You know the guy from SVU, Chris, what's his name, Maloney? I did a guest thing on SVU, and he's sitting in the makeup trailer, and I walk in, and he has flip-flops on, and I look down at his feet, and I go, oh, my God, your feet are hot. And he goes, what? I go, what? Nothing. I didn't say anything. What did I say? And so it happens.
That is.
I have a foot thing.
Okay, very good.
Stu Gatz admits he'd commit a crime.
I would absolutely take down my own school as a journalist if I find out that there was financial aid problems. Are you kidding me? I'm not hiding that story.
I totally leverage that information for money. I would. I bring it to UM and be like, listen, I'm going to write this report.
Really?
There's an amount of money.
Blackmail.
Yep, that's what I do. Yeah.
Felony blackmail.
Yep. If I was young, yep.
When you were young.
Yeah, I'd do it tomorrow.
Stu Gatz's dream.
The last dream I remember was me in my 6th grade class. Mr. Fizemayer was my teacher, and I just remember being in the back corner of his classroom, and this evil monster was coming after me. And I'm not certain if it was Mr. Fizemayer, who was a nice guy, fluffy mustache, big-time surfer. I can't remember if it was him coming after me, like if it was a monster with a giant fluffy mustache and a surfboard, or if it was just some other random monster. But I used to hide in the back of his classroom, and this monster would always come after me, and it was like the dream would always cut off right when the monster was getting to me. So I never knew how it ended.
Terry Bradshaw's oddest place he's peed.
Here's one.
All right.
Top of the house.
What?
Top of the house. Peed. But I was going to pee over the edge, but I ended up peeing in the gutter, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
Top of the house. That's the one I knew for sure.
That's a good one. How about the sink? Ever in the sink? Ever in the sink of the house?
Oh, of course. Of course I peed in the sink.
Do you even use a bathroom anymore?
Get this. In college, we had a sink, and the bathroom was right outside my door, and I'd get up, my roommate, he'd be asleep, and I'd just get up and pee in the sink. Wash it out good, though.
Tim Kirchin's bizarre dream about shooting free throws.
I have a recurring nightmare 3-4 times a year that I'm at the free throw line and I'm shooting a free throw, and instead of shooting a basketball, I'm shooting a winter coat.
What?
You can't shoot a winter coat.
Right.
It opens up and you shoot an air ball every time.
Wow.
That is a recurring nightmare that I have.